Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. I am so excited that you're here. We're here again in 90313 Hotel, going out today to practice some maneuvers, and I want to talk about what I learned practicing, particularly today, stalls.
Pretty ground, Varney 450, request our clearance to Casa Grande Airport.
2450, get a ground, your clearance is on request.
In particular, what I want to talk about is what practicing and learning stalls in the airplane taught me about self-defense on the ground as a self-defender.
I use Throom targets on the range for all the benefits of steel with none of the drawbacks. They're made in the USA too. Pick up a set to make your shooting more fun and effective.
First, we're going to get up in the air and I will catch you out there. I'm taxiing right now here at Goodyear Airport. Gonna do a little run up, get the heck out of here. I want to remind you, I am not teaching you flying in this video. I am not a certificated flight instructor. I am not giving you instruction on how to fly. I can't do that. I am talking about what I do as a pilot. I'm going to edit a lot of the pilot-y stuff out of this because I'm not trying to teach you necessarily or at all what we do in flying. I'm trying to teach you how I apply my lessons from flying and how I fly my airplane in a self-defense context. So here's the funny part. A lot of times people that don't fly, they hear, oh my gosh, you guys, you purposefully stall the airplane. The answer to that is yes, we do. And the reason we do that is not honestly to stall the airplane. What we're actually trying to do here is we are trying to feel what it feels like to have the airplane in a slow condition and feel like, oh no.
Valley, Cessna 37 Charlie Juliet, south end of the Greenfield 45 maneuvers.
And we start this with what we call slow flight.
Traffic, Varney 8.
So the first thing that we do is we try to get the airplane slow. We try to get the airplane to feel like, okay, this is what we want it to do, and it's not climbing, and it's not going away. It is instead just mushy, and that's kind of how we want to feel it. We want to feel like, oh man, this is very slow flying. And so I'm in final configuration here, and I am just flying slowly. All right, I have the right altitude. I am flying at 50 knots right now. I am slow, 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 and I'm doing that on purpose. I am trying to feel what the airplane feels like when I am flying way too slow. I'm at about 52 knots right now, which I can even slow it down a little bit more than that and pull that back into about 50 knots of airspeed with 30 degrees of flaps in, and I am slow, slow, slow. And you're like, oh man, this is why we really practice this, is I don't want my airplane to feel like this. If my airplane feels like this, I am in danger. And so we practice this stuff, slow flight, so that number one, we can get the feel for, okay, wait a minute, what?
Hey, well, this is 519 Bravo over the construction area, 5.0 for down to 3000 for simulated emergency descent.
We kind of get a feel for, hey, this is how this airplane feels when I am this slow, and I don't want to be this slow, right? This is not how I want to be flying. And so now that I am fairly well established, 3,500 at 50 knots, I'm at about 34,
traffic,
50.
Varney 476, 2,500, going for 3,500, just over Arlington Town, private maneuvers in this area, Rainbow.
So now that we're there, we're at 50 knots, we've been doing this a while, we know what we're about.
Rainbow, Varney 855, we're 5 nautical miles west of Painted Rock Dam.
Then I am going to pull the power and maintain my altitude here. And then the aircraft is going to come up, up, up. I want to maintain coordinated flight, stall horn, stall horn. Way down there. There's the stall horn. And there's the brake.
Running 471, 3,500, climbing 4,500,
okay.
Due east of Arlington
Pick up some
Town,
airspeed.
Eagle Tail Private, Rainbow.
We are now no longer in that. Very good. Now we're going to pull our flaps up a little at a time. So you see, we lost about 100 feet, give or take. Got some more airspeed, about 60 knots. We want to climb 70 to 75 until we're back to our given airspeed. Simple maneuver. That was power off. We can do power on as well. But what I wanted you to see here today is that that's kind of what we do, is that we just practice this, so then that way we are ready for it if, God forbid, it ever happens to us.
Right traffic.
So we do this so that if, God forbid, we get close to it, you heard that stall horn, right? That stall horn went, and it was like, hey, John, you're in real trouble, dummy. And that was my indicator that, oh no, I got to think about things here. And so I did. And that is just like in our self-defense.
Varney 832 is just south of Buckeye.
In a defensive context, we use this in a very similar way, because what we do here is we don't want to use our emergency procedures. We don't want to use our firearm, right? We really don't. What we want to do is we want to see it incipiently coming. We want to feel like the spidey senses and this bad stuff is coming. We want to know what it feels like when things aren't right. And if we can figure out when things aren't right, then we can use our good decision making to keep ourselves out of these kinds of problems. That's exactly what we want to do. If, God forbid, we get into it, though, now we know how to recover from it. So our stall recovery procedure is rote memory.
Rainbow Valley, Variant 469, 1,900, climbing 2,000, just left Buckeye on the left.
Well, I don't know how much of that you got. I hope we got a good bit of it, but unfortunately the camera overheated. And so, gosh, man, again, how is this applicable to self-defense? It has taught me that the number one thing is to find the incipient indicators something's wrong, paying attention to the right things, and not get into the spot where I have to use my incredible superior piloting skills. Instead, I can use good decision-making skills. And the same thing in self-defense, right? If I can see the problem coming, I can nope out of there. I can put myself in a good position defensively where maybe they don't choose me as a target. I can just avoid the problem entirely, or put myself in a very advantageous position to recover from it very quickly. And though, if God forbid it happens, because a stall can happen at any, it's about angle of attack, not airspeed. And so with that in mind, golly, man, same thing here. Sometimes it's unavoidable. And so you got to have the emergency procedures. When that happens, you know what to do. In a stall, we know what to do. In a defensive encounter, you're not thinking about how do I get my gun out of the holster? How do I sight this gun or any of that stuff? You just do it. And I think if you do that, it'll be helpful to you. I hope that this helps you a little bit. I've been trying to, just kind of do some fun stuff, get up in the air and fly. It's a little bit hot today, so that's why the cameras were having a hard time, but I hope that helps you and I hope you have a great day.